In this video, we're going to look at ionic compounds and what you do when you're given a name of an ionic compound and you have to write a formula. So let's look at lithium oxide. Lithium oxide, you're given a metal and a nonmetal. When you're given a metal and a nonmetal, you can actually use the periodic table to determine the charge that it will form when it forms an ion. So when it either gives up electrons or accepts electrons, in which metals will give up electrons and nonmetals will accept electrons. And how do you do this is this first column. These guys, when they form ions, will have a +1 charge. This column of +2, we skip over these guys. We come right here. Everything in this column of a +3. These guys could be plus or -4. These guys could be -3. Here would be -2, and this column would be -1, and your noble gases would be 0, would be the charge. So the first step is we want to specifically look at lithium. Lithium's in this first column, and the symbol for lithium is uppercase L, lowercase I, and it's going to have a +1 charge. Now we have to look at oxide, which is oxygen. Oxygen's right here. The symbol for oxygen is an uppercase O, and it's going to have a -2 charge. The next step is we have to determine how we make them equal 0. And when I say them, I'm talking about the charges. So lithium has a +1 charge. Oxygen has a -2 charge. When we write the formula, it needs to equal 0. It wants to equal 0 to be happy. But right now, +1 -2 equals -1. So it does not equal 0, but it equals -1. Well, if I add more minus to it, well, then it's going to be -2, -3. It's going to keep going to the negative. I want to get it to 0. So I'm actually going to add another lithium here. And now I have lithium +1, lithium +1. And I change this up. I add them up again. And I have +1, +1, -2. And that equals 0. So 2 lithiums and 1 oxygen equals 0 with their charges. So I add them up. I have 2 lithiums. I have 1 oxygen. And what I want to do is I want to take this lithium and I put the subscript here as a 2. So I have 2 lithiums. And then the oxygen I plug in right here, and now I have lithium 2 oxygen. So Li subscript 2 O. And the reason I don't put a 1 right here is because 1's disappear in chemistry. We assume there's a 1 there if there's nothing there. Another way that you can go about this is the crossover method. So this is the way we just did. Well, the second way is you have your charges. So Li will have a +1 charge when it's a cation. Oxygen will have a -2 when it's an anion or a negative ion. Well, what you can do is you can cross out these charges, cross them out. So now we have no charges involved. Then the 1 and the 2 will cross over and you get Li2O1. But remember in chemistry, those 1's disappear. So you end up with uppercase L, lowercase I, subscript 2, and your O, which is the same as this.